Enrichment Center regulations require both hands to be empty before any cake.
Ja. Und damit Glück auf und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Portal, Kommentar der Entwickler. Ich wusste nicht, dass man auch im Kommentar der Entwickler speichern kann. Deswegen wollte ich jetzt einfach gerade nur mal, weil wir uns hier ja nicht an die Kapitel gehalten haben, gucken, wo ich jetzt hier rauskomme. Aber offensichtlich funktioniert das auch so.
We use these moving platforms to add time pressure to puzzles. A sequence of simple decisions feels much more climactic under time pressure, in contrast to most puzzles in Portal which can be solved at the player's leisure. Puzzles that aren't time-bound can be more complex, but at the expense of being less dramatic.
Okay. Die Energiekugel ist grün. Ah.
To ensure the safe performance of all authorized activities, do not destroy vital testing apparatus.
Sometimes little details make a huge difference. For instance, we had to add the left side to this wall to give players a visual representation of how thick it is. Without it, playtesters frequently thought that the hall had just gotten impossibly narrower,
The test
panicked,
is now over.
and stopped
All
making
amateur
rational decisions.
technologies remain safely operational up to
Before the player
4,000
escapes the
degrees
fire
Kelvin.
pit, the AI dialogue is all delivered in a computerized monotone. After the escape, however, Gladys gets progressively more expressive until, by the end, she's cycling through a whole mess of emotions. The role required an actor capable of mimicking a computer-generated voice while still infusing it with some real character. Since we planned to end the game with a song, she also needed to have a good singing voice. The woman we ended up casting, Ellen McLean, is a great mimic, a terrific actor, and a classically trained operatic soprano, so that worked out pretty good.
Damn it!
Before the player escapes the fire pit, the AI dialogue is all delivered in a computerized monotone. After the escape, however, Gladys gets progressively more expressive until, by the end, she's cycling through a whole mess of emotions.
What are you doing? Stop it. We are pleased that you made it through the final challenge where we pretended we were going to murder you. We are very, very happy for your success. We are throwing a party in honor of your tremendous success.
Fuck off.
Place the device on the ground, then lie on your stomach with your arms at your sides. A party associate will arrive shortly to collect you for your party. Make no further attempt to leave the testing area. Assume the party escort submission position or you will miss the party.
In these new areas, we weren't using the surfaces the player is familiar with. The rules for which new surfaces portals can be placed on, and which surfaces are off-limits, needed to be taught. So, we created this area both to show the player they've escaped into the guts of the facility, and to retrain them in which surfaces are valid for portal placement.
Ja, das ist... Ja, stimmt, ist ja nicht nur hier. Ich kann mir nicht vorstellen, dass das hier alles Mondgestein ist. Das, ja, wobei, es hat die gleiche Panelform. Und bei Aperture Science weiß man ja nie. Aber rein vom Sinn und von der Wirtschaftlichkeit her würde es keinen Sinn machen, außerhalb der Testtracks Portalflächen zu machen. Es sei denn, die Mitarbeiter bewegen sich genauso wie wir durch die Anlage.
Hello? Where are you? I know you're there. I can feel you here. Hello?
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Vision Ah, okay. Da kommen wir noch hin. Stimmt.
I went to Portal's, I Googled Portal in game, and I went to the trailer, and I just loved it. I loved hearing my voice. And as I told the production team, I have never played a computer game in my life, but I want to play this one.
Ja. Die gute Ellen. That worked.
What are you doing? You haven't escaped, you know. You're not even going the right way. Hello? Is anyone there?
Teil. Alright.
Okay, the test is over now. You win. Go back to the recovery annex for your cake. It was a fun test, and we're all impressed at how much you won. The test is over. Come back.
After players escape, we let them solve an old chamber in a new way. This reintroduction of a familiar space, which can now be solved in an incorrect way, helps convey the sense that players are cheating the system while forging their own path through the facility.
Psychologie.
Uh-oh, somebody cut the cake. I told them to wait for you, but they cut it anyway. So let me hurry back.
Ballad. Nee! Mensch!
You're not even going the right way. Where do you think you're going? Because I don't think you're going where you think you're going. Hello?
Yeah, well.
One bizarre fact of game design is that without some serious prompting, players will rarely look up. In this case, the prompt is a ladder. Most players will investigate where the ladder goes, which is up. The ladder actually falls apart as soon as it's touched, but by then it's served its purpose.
Ja gut. Man kann es ja auch ehrlich gesagt nicht Ladder nennen, was ihr hier habt. Das sind ein paar Einschusslöcher. Mit Metallbügeln drin. Das ist zum Glück gar nicht verwirrend.
We designed the post-escape levels to give players brief glimpses of the inner workings of the Enrichment Center. This particular area exposes part of the storage cube distribution system. These little vignettes help make this section of the game visually distinct from the testing chambers, while reinforcing the idea that players are now behind the scenes.
Ah, okay.
Didn't we have some fun, though? Remember when the platform was sliding into the fire? were going to murder you. That was great.
Through playtesting, we discovered that fatigue set in if we didn't break up the more complicated, deliberately paced puzzles with problems that required the player to perform a much simpler task under time pressure. These pistons proved to be a good foundation for that simpler type of puzzle. Because they feature a moving surface, they also gave us an opportunity to employ some unusual portal transitions, such as ceiling to ceiling.
Okay.
During development, we'd often run across some piece of level design that would break the portal system. For instance, this ceiling to ceiling transition was an unexpected edge case that ended up requiring a lot of effort to make work. We tried never to take the easy route of simply changing the level design to work with existing portal technology. We knew that once the game was out in the wild, custom map creators would stress the system in ways we hadn't even considered, so we made it as flexible as possible.
Ballert! Was ist das eigentlich mit den ganzen Haklern hier?
You really shouldn't be here. This isn't safe for you. It's not too late for you to turn back. I'm not angry. Just go back to the testing area.
Yeah. Alright. Ballert.
You should have turned left before. It's funny, actually, when you think about it. Someday we'll remember this and laugh, and laugh, and laugh. Oh boy. Well, you may as well come on back.
Lorde Dorten.
In the sound booth, you're only connected to the production team by an intercom, and they can talk about you, and you don't know what they're saying. But you trust that they're being kind. And, you know, they'll push a button and then they'll say something to me. They'll say, a direction. No, that wasn't right. Do it again. Give us 3 more reads. And a lot of times what happens is they would play the computer-generated sound for me on one line, and then I'm supposed to recreate that 3 times with the director saying, okay, well, you know, more sarcastic or more angry or more irritated. So you stand in the booth hour after hour after hour. They're always very nice. They let you have water in here and maybe a pencil to take a few notes. And of course you want it to be interesting because you want them to hire you again.
Naja, hat ja geklappt. Hat man ja bei Portal 2 gesehen.
As the end of the game draws closer, we increase the ratio of time-pressured puzzles, like this turret ambush, to give the players the sense that they're approaching a climactic encounter.
An important design goal of these post-escape levels was to give players the sense that they're running wild inside the guts of the facility. With that in mind, we added plenty of nooks and crannies for players to crawl into or place portals through. This ended up being a tricky lighting challenge, as the areas needed to be bright enough to navigate while still being dim enough to feel like obscure, disused sections of the building.
people, don't get up here. Can you hear me?
Ah ja.
Hey. I don't blame you.
Oh. Hier. Warum haben sie die Sprechblasen von Alan McLean eigentlich so versteckt? Weil sie nicht zum Produktionsteam gehört oder so als kleines Special, weil sie Synchronsprecherin der Antagonistin und dann später der zweiten Protagonistin ist?
This is your fault. It didn't have to be like this. I'm not kidding now. Turn back or I will kill you.
Sarcasm.
I'm going to kill you.
Gladys
And all the
is
cake is
sarcastic
gone.
a lot.
You don't
And
even
that's so much
care,
fun.
do you?
But while I was trying to
This
do
is
this,
your
trying to
last
build in
chance.
all these emotions, I still had to maintain the computer sound and maintain the pronunciation of repeated phrases. You know, aperture science and the enrichment center.
These rocket sentries originally fired lasers. We switched from lasers to rockets after we introduced the glass breaking mechanic, mainly because glass shattering in a massive rocket explosion turned out to be a lot more satisfying than glass just slowly being melted by a laser. Originally they also spoke, just like the bullet turrets. Because players often redirect the rockets with their backs to the turret, however, a distinct uncluttered sound cue was required. The voice simply added too much noise to the rocket redirect mechanic.
Okay. Slightly off. Ach, was? Fuck you!
This is your fault. It didn't have to be like this.
Ja, shut
I'm
up.
not kidding now. Turn back or I will kill you. I'm going to kill you. And all the cake is gone. You don't even care, do you? This is your last chance.
Breaking this tube gives players a chance to test out their newly trained rocket redirecting and glass breaking skills in a slightly different context, which helps cement the training.
Breaking what? Oh mein Gott, ich bin so dämlich. Oh mein Gott. Alter. Wow. Wow. Nee, wow. Auf die Idee bin ich einfach nicht gekommen, die Röhre kaputt zu machen. Ich bin immer zurückgelaufen und habe mir einen Bürostuhl geholt. Aus einem der vorigen Räume, um hier in diesen Luftschacht zu kommen. Alter, what? Und ich meine, ich kenne Portal nun schon ein paar Jahrchen und habe das auch schon ein-, zweimal durchgespielt. Also, wow. Das ist, ja.
There you are. Please push me down. Activate. Uh-oh. Oh, hard. Put me down.
Ja, du.
Still there. Hey.
Ah.
Deploying. Hey. Hey.
This massive turret ambush was originally a lot more massive, with turrets that dropped from the ceiling and popped out of surprise hatches. In fact, for a while, it was the game's climactic battle. Through playtesting, we learned that this type of pure combat experience didn't really fit with the preceding few hours of player training. Over several iterations, we toned down the combat and made the room more about using portal momentum to fling yourself great distances, a skill that playtesters really enjoyed using, and that's a key component of what eventually became our final battle.
God damn it. Hey, hat gepasst. That was close. That was close. Fuck. Nice. Hey.
Originally, these catwalks were decorative, but playtesters consistently thought they were significant and often spent a lot of time trying to reach them. We didn't want to stand between people and their desire to walk on the catwalks, so we redesigned the area to make catwalks not only accessible, but also necessary to proceed.
Okay. Aber die oberen Laufstege hier sind nicht wirklich begehbar. So wie das aussieht. Die sind ja auch nicht wirklich nützlich. Die gehen einfach nur von Mauer zu Mauer ohne Zugang. Was? Keine Sprechblase hier. War nicht hier.
Well, you found me. Congratulations.
Fiction
Was it
behind this
worth
red
it?
phone
Because
is that while
despite your
Gladys was being
violent
developed,
behavior,
it
the
was
only
somebody's
thing
job
you've
to
managed
sit
to
by
break
it.
so far
And if it
is
ever
my
looked like
heart.
the AI was
Maybe
becoming
you could
sentient
settle
and
for that,
godlike,
and
that
we'll just
person
call
would pick
it a
up the
day.
phone and
I
call
guess
somebody
we
to come
both know
help.
that isn't
And the
going
point in
to
time where the
happen.
actual
You
game
chose
takes
this
place,
path.
it's
Now I
become
have a
obvious that the
surprise
Aperture
for you.
Science red phone plan
Deploying
didn't
surprise in
100% work
5,
out.
4. Time out for a second. That wasn't supposed to happen. Do you see that thing that fell out of me? What is that? It's not the surprise. I've never seen it before. Never mind, it's a mystery I'll solve later.
GLaDOS, the
by
rogue disk
myself.
operating system that
Because
now
you'll
runs
be
Aperture
dead.
Science, went through a bunch of design iterations.
I wouldn't
Early
bother
versions
with that
included a
thing. My
floating
guess is
brain,
that
a
touching it will
sprawling
just make your
spidery
life
mechanism,
even worse
and an
somehow.
upside-down version of Botticelli's Rise of Venus built out of robot parts and wire. Eventually,
I
we
don't
settled
want
on a
to tell you
huge
your
mechanical
business,
device
but
with a
if it
delicate
were me,
robotic
I'd leave
figure
that thing
dangling out of it,
alone.
which successfully conveys both GLaDOS's raw power and her femininity.
Do you think I'm trying to trick you with reverse psychology?
So
I
when they
mean,
told me
seriously
that there was
now.
going to be a song at the end, I thought, well, all right, who's going to write the song?
Okay, fine. Do touch it.
And they told
Pick
me
it
there
up
was
and
going to be a
just
song
stuff it
written by
back into
Jonathan
me.
Colton. And I listened to a song
Let's be
that
honest.
Jonathan had
Neither
written,
one of
and
us
it was
knows what
very
that
fun,
thing
very
does.
clever.
Just put it
so
in the
I thought
corner,
at that point,
and I'll
well,
deal with
this
it
will be
later.
okay. But I am an opera singer, so usually I sing.
That thing is probably some kind of raw sewage container. Go ahead and rub your face all over it.
And I thought, well, will I be able to have the right style for the song? So I was concerned.
Maybe you should marry
But
that
then
thing
before
since you
the
love it so
recording,
much. Do you
they
want
sent
to
me an
marry
MP3
it? Well, I
file
won't let you.
of the
How
song.
does that feel?
And I listened to it with Jonathan singing it. But I
Have I
loved
lied
the
to
lead
you?
song.
I mean,
and
in this room,
at home,
trust
as I
me,
practiced
leave that
the
thing
whole
alone.
song, I tried to, get back to GLaDOS's voice. Aperture science.
I am being
is this
serious
tiny
now.
little
That crazy thing is not part of any test
computer
protocol.
Who's all alone until people try to come in and murder her. So of course she gets upset.
Just ignore that
But
thing and stand
she
still.
seems to have this real affinity for cake. And I want to play the game because I want to recreate the cake recipe.
Think
and
about
then
it.
put
If
portal
that
on
thing
it
is important,
and be
why
able
don't
to
I know
serve
about
to my
it?
friends when they come over to my house.
Where are you taking that thing? I'll tell you what that thing isn't. It isn't yours, so leave it alone. Are you even listening to me?
Nope.
You're kidding me. Did you just stuff that aperture science thing, we don't know what it does, into an aperture science emergency intelligence incinerator? That has got to be the dumbest thing that... Whoa.
Well, actually, to speed this up a little bit, weil wir ja hier eigentlich schon alle Sprechblasen
Good news. I figured out what that thing you just
abgefrühstückt haben.
did. It was a morality core they installed after I flooded the enrichment center with a deadly
Kann ich jetzt
neurotoxin.
eigentlich auch hier wieder ein bisschen cheaten, dass der Kampf schneller geht.
So get comfortable while I warm up the neurotoxin emitters. Oh, that core may have had some ancillary responsibilities. I can't shut off the turret defenses. Oh well. If you want my advice, you should just lie down in front of a rocket. Trust me. It'll be a lot less painful than the neurotoxin. Alright. Keep doing whatever it is you think you're doing. Killing you and giving you good advice aren't mutually exclusive. The rocket really is the way to go. It's the fluid catalytic cracking unit. It made shoes for orphans. Nice job breaking it, hero.
Who are you?
This isn't brave. It's murder. What did I ever do to you? The difference. You think you're doing some damage?
2 + 2 is...
In baseball, I'm fine. I let you survive this long because I was curious about your behavior. Well, you've managed to destroy that part of me. Unfortunately, as much as I'd love to now, I can't get the neurotoxin into your head any faster. I'd just like to point out that you were given every opportunity to succeed. There was even going to be a party for you. A big party. Your best friend, the companion cube. Of course, he couldn't come because you murdered him. All your other friends couldn't come either because you don't have any other friends, because of how unlikable you are. It says so right here in your personnel file. Unlikable. Liked by no one.
Shut up.
Neurotoxin. So deadly. joking.
Kidding.
When I said deadly neurotoxin, the deadly was in massive sarcasm quote. I could take a bath in this stuff, put it on cereal, rub it right into my
Fuck
eyes.
off.
Honestly, it's not deadly at all.
To me.
You, on the other hand, are going to create its deadliness a lot less funny.
Damn
Who's
it.
gonna make the cake when I'm gone? You. Look, you're wasting your time. And believe me, you don't have a whole lot left to waste. What's your point anyway? Survival. Well then, the last thing you want to do is hurt me. I have your brain scanned and permanently backed up in case something terrible happens to you. Which it's just about to. Don't believe me? Here, I'll put you on. That's you. That's how dumb you sound. You've been wrong about every single thing you've ever done, including this game. You're not smart. You're not a scientist. You're not a doctor. You're not even a full-time employee. Where did your life go so wrong? Are you trying to escape? Things have changed since the last time you left the building. What's going on out there will make you wish you were back in here. I have an infinite capacity for knowledge, and even I'm not sure what's going on outside. All I know is I'm the only thing standing between us and them. Well, I was. Unless you have a plan for building some supercomputer parts in a big hurry, this place isn't going to be safe much longer. No. Sarcasm, Seer, self-test complete. Stop squirming and die like an adult or I'm going to delete your backup. Stop! Okay, enough. I deleted it. No matter what happens now, you're dead. You're still shuffling around a little, but believe me, you're dead. The part of you that could have survived indefinitely is gone. I just stripped it.
Your life has been a mathematical error.
A mathematical error I'm about to correct.
Was gut gerade ist. Ich bleib dann mal hier unten.
Thank you for assuming the potty escort submission position.
Well, alright. Das war ja auch noch. Die Frage ist bloß, ob die jetzt noch irgendwas abschließend sagen. Das weiß ich jetzt nicht. Ja, kommt dabei.
This was a triumph. I'm making a note here, huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Aperture science. We do what we must because we can. For the good of all of us, except the ones who are dead. But there's no sense crying over every mistake. You just keep on trying till you run out of cake. And the science gets done and you make a neat gun for the people who are still alive. prefer to stay inside. Maybe you'll find someone else to help you. Maybe Black Mesa. That was a joke, haha, that chance. Anyway, this cake is great. It's so delicious and moist. Look at me still talking when there's science to do. When I look up there, it makes me glad I'm not you. I've experiments to run. There is research to be done on the people who are still alive. And believe me, I am still alive. I'm doing science and I'm still alive. I feel fantastic and I'm still alive. While you're dying, I'll be still alive. And when you're dead, I will be still alive.
Still alive. Still alive. Alright. Hab doch nicht abschließend gesagt. Auch gut. Ja. Naja, das war's für Portal Kommentar der Entwickler. Ja. Die Bonuskarten werde ich... wenn ich irgendwann mal ganz viel Motivation habe, vielleicht, aber... Nee. Lassen wir mal. Wird Zeit, dass mal wieder ein bisschen frischer Wind reinkommt mit anderen Projekten. Die nicht unbedingt von Valve sind. Naja, alles klar, das würde ich sagen, da geht's dann bei Mad Max weiter. Jetzt tatsächlich endlich. Ja, Mad Max geht's dann erstmal weiter. Das wird auch erstmal ein längerfristiges Projekt. Und ja. Dann würde ich sagen, wir sehen uns bei Mad Max. Bis dahin, macht's gut.